Good evening, my friends. How are we? You're all very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda, where, as always, we're going to be just chatting the shit, chewing the fat, whatever phrase you want to use. I probably shouldn't say chewing the fat, surely that's going to lead to some stuff coming my way. But look, my friends, a lot to get through on tonight's stream. We will, of course, be talking about the title and Barcelona's interest in Lucho. We will be talking a bit about Fabio Carvalho. We'll be looking at the situation with the Super League a bit as well, and a few other bits and pieces, some Leroy Sane talk, and look, the usual that you can expect during an international break. Is it just me, or do the transfer stories always seem to ramp up in these international breaks? I have a theory that when players get away from their clubs for a little bit, sometimes their agents get a little bit brave, because they know that their client won't have to go in and face an angry manager the next day. I wasn't 1 minute late, Adam. I was absolutely on time. My comment actually went into the chat at 8:29, sir. So I was early, if anything. You owe me a minute. Diaz over Mbappe. Well, don't worry. I will be linking those two together a little bit later on, my man. When the stream starts, I always get an advert for some reason. Again, that's a YouTube thing. We don't control when you get the ads. We do on the videos. If we put up a pre-recorded video, absolutely, we're responsible for where the ads are in that. But when we go live, it's potluck. It's not really up to us what way the ads go. So, again, direct your feedback, which I'm sure is always welcome to YouTube. Right, how are we doing? Thank you to everyone that joined Adam earlier on, by the way, for today's Top of the League stream. Adam, of course, was speaking about the record profits announced by Manchester City, or the record turnover announced. And I was a keen observer to the stream, watching your comments, watching Adam's take on it. And look, I think what I can gather from the stream is nobody really believes it's all legit. And I'm with you all on that one. So yeah, look, I'm good. I'm good, my friends. Remind me when the chat fills up in about 10 minutes to bring something up, because I want to get through that as well. So, Colin, first super chat of the night, said, "How are you, the 8th wonder of the world? I'm finally on a Thanksgiving break for a little. Excited to go home and enjoy some international break. Craig." Love it. We love that, Colin. Well in. Welcome, my friend. Great to have you with us. Oh. Someone's alarm's going off. Is that mine? Nope. Not my car alarm, so I don't have to worry. It's a car alarm going off outside. They cannot afford him. Look, I will, of course, cover the Diaz stuff. Don't worry. There is a backup story to link it all together, as always is the case. And again, it's not Craig saying Barcelona are coming for Diaz. It's not me that's making this claim. But I will tie it all together for you in a few minutes when the chat starts to fill up. Sell Diaz by Kvaratskhelia. He's having a stinker of a season, by the way, Kvaratskhelia. You know, that's why I said to you guys at the start of this season when the Salah stuff came up, I'm not yet convinced on Kvaratskhelia. He has a way to go before I think he'd be spoken about really in the type of price bracket that Napoli would demand for him. Nice hoodie. Thank you, Red Baron. Yeah. I love this hoodie. It's one of my favourites. It's an Ajax. When I got it last year in the on the Adidas shop, they had some cool retro shirts for like Bayern, Ajax, stuff like that. Luis Diaz will not leave Liverpool. Again, don't be getting angry at me because stories come up. I'm not saying to you Luis Diaz is leaving Liverpool. In fact, I agree with you. I don't think Luis Diaz in any way, shape or form would want to leave Liverpool. But it doesn't mean there isn't something to the story. Squidly, how are we, dude? Nice to see you. Virgil, lovely to see you in as well, sir. Craig, are you aware what happened before the match between Hungary and Bulgaria? No, my friend, I'm not. I haven't really... I'm aware Mohamed Salah bagged 4 goals earlier on for Egypt against Djibouti. And who doesn't love saying Djibouti? 4 goals for Salah, and the game wasn't over, so I don't know, did he squeak another one in before then? But yeah, 4 for Mo, which I believe breaks a record for the most goals scored in a qualifying campaign, or the most goals scored in qualifying for a World Cup, or something like that. I remember there was a record, another one Mo broke. Kvaratskhelia struggled because of a defensive manager. Fair enough. Again, I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I'm not trying to say you're right. But what I'm saying is I'm not convinced yet of Kvaratskhelia when we're talking in the 100 million bracket. I'm not there yet with him. That's just my own personal opinion. Nice beard. Well, it's not really, but it's the best man can do. It's the best man can do. Would another club give Diaz the support we did recently in a difficult situation? Again, it's a fair point. I think yes is probably the answer. I think in a modern football club, one the size of a Liverpool, a United, a Real, a Barca, yeah, you probably would get that support because it's the right thing to do, first and foremost. Did Napoli's manager get sacked or about to be sacked? There is definitely talk of him about to get sacked. Yeah, I've seen some links to other managers to come in and replace him. George, I'm very good, thank you, mate. I'm good. It's it's been an okay international break so far. Thursday, once we get through the first weekend, then we can start to zone in on the resumption of Premier League football. Any news on Osimhen? No, not that I've seen. Not to Liverpool anyway. So look, again, I've loads to get through. I was just waiting for the chat to fill up a little bit. So, right, what do we want? We'll start with the main story of the night then. The one about Lucho to Barcelona. So let me just get my notes open. So again, this report comes out of Spain, and they say that it's Ficajes for this one, by the way. They say that Luis Diaz is of long-term interest to Barcelona. They say that Barca were eyeing Diaz at Porto before Liverpool stole a march, came in, signed the player. Now, one of the first things we'll all automatically think when we think of a possible move is they can't afford him. And you're right. But the piece does go on to say that they're open to selling the likes of Ferran Torres and Rafinha to fund a move for Diaz. Now, look, I don't want Diaz to go. I don't think Diaz will go. I'm fully with you all on that one. But somebody's going to have to make space for Mbappe. I'm only joking. I'm joking with that one. I'm joking. No, look, I don't want him to go either, and I don't think he would go. But I'm always nervous when we hear Barca or Real Madrid with South American players because a lot of these guys grow up with dreams to go play in La Liga, dreams to go play at a Barca or Real Madrid because of the cultural similarities, of course, the language and a few other bits and pieces. Lucho is most likely very, very happy at Liverpool, and he should be because he's loved, he's playing really well. But again, it doesn't stop the stories, it doesn't stop these links, and as I've pointed out to you, this is a long time thing for Barcelona. They're not just looking at him now, they've been looking at him for a while, and you're right, they couldn't have afforded him, which is why we got in and got the job done, and he's our boy, and I don't see any need or want for us to sell him. But it got me thinking though, just play devil's advocate with me for a minute. What is Lucho's market value now? At Liverpool, in his prime, doing well, having made the step up from Porto. Just for curiosity, what's he worth? If you were to put a price, a realistic price, right now on Lucho, what would it be? That's what I was thinking about earlier on. I never really gave it much consideration. Colin, thank you, bud, for gifting an Anfield Agenda membership. That's really kind. Frankie, our new number 6. Mbappe, our new number 7. Bowen, our 11. Stop it now, Isti. Stop it. Look, dude, I won't lie to you. I'm going to be honest. If Mo moved on, and if Diaz, let's say, wanted to go to Barcelona, and let's say, again, we're making a lot of leaps here, but let's say De Jong was a possibility, I'd be a liar if I said to you that De Jong in the 6, Mbappe on the left, and Bowen on the right would not make me very excited. It would. Obviously you'd have a huge loss in Salah and Diaz, and nobody wants that to happen. But, playing devil's advocate here, those names you've listed, it would make me quite happy if that was the replacement, shall we say. Right, so let's have a look at what you guys think valuation-wise for Lucho anyway. 60 million, 85 million, 110 million, 70 million from Yilber. Colin Blackshaw, 75 million. 90 million for Brett, 140. Now, come on, dude, that's a bit optimistic. Alexander Smith, 75. Wibbly Wobbly Wonder, what a name. And also, my favourite ever Ice Pop. 65 million, 60 million for Blair. Louise, 90 million. Darwizi, 60, 70. Jasper, 80 million pounds. Liam Belson, 90. I'm probably in the camp between 60 and 70. You know, if I was to try and put a valuation on Lucho, I'd probably be in somewhere in pounds now. I mean, in pounds sterling, 60 to 70 million. In euros, 80. That's kind of where I think I'd guess at a valuation. Anyway, anyone want to have a little look on Transfermarkt or whatever, just to see what they are valuing them at, feel free to lash it into the chat and let us know. Tommy Ellis, thank you, dude, for your super sticker. Appreciate you. Or are you celebrating? You're celebrating your first super sticker on live stream. Boom, we love that. Tommy, well in. What do you think of Arteta's punishment? Do you know, I'm embarrassed to say, I don't know what it is. Let me have a look. Yeah, so lots of news happening today. And do you know what? I haven't checked in on it. I've been playing catch up. Arteta charged with misconduct from Newcastle defeat. Alleged comments considered fee or blah 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 blah. So expected. Look, they value him at 75 million. There you go. So we're not too far away in the valuations. What will Arteta? Yeah, on Arteta's punishment. Look, I don't like to see managers punished for these things. I don't. Whether it's Klopp, whether it's Pep, whether it's Ten Hag, whether it's Arteta. It's very difficult to say I don't want honesty or emotion in interviews. If you stick a camera in someone's face and a microphone just after a contentious game where the manager's going to feel hard done by, they're human. What do you expect? I don't want robots. I don't want people media trained to within an inch of their life. And I also don't understand why the PGMOL, the Premier League, and everybody else seems to be afraid of a referee being criticised. Why? You've got pundits on TV every single week, ripping apart players, managers, tactics, bigging them up as well. You know, pundits aren't all negative, but I'm saying if somebody's gone through a poor phase or... So why is it okay for the players and all to be lambasted, but the minute a player, a manager, anybody speaks out against the referee, the book seems to get thrown at them? Again, we're building up this us and them mentality where there's only one way. There's only one side of this. Everybody else has to shut up and accept it, but the referees can do what they want. I understand respect. I understand that you don't want it, but it's a two-way street. If you want a manager to give you an answer in a very heated moment, sometimes this shit's going to happen. And I don't like to see them punished for it. That's my true thoughts on that Arteta punishment. And again, it would stand the same for Klopp or anybody else. I understand why he got the punishment. I understand with Klopp and others haven't had it before. It was nearly a formality. It was going to happen. But just like with Klopp and all, I didn't agree with it then. I don't agree with it now. Rachel, thank you for gifting 5 Anfield Agenda memberships. You are very kind indeed. Colin said, I love Lucho, but he's getting a bit predictable with his movements and attack. And we do have Cody, who deserves a start and also opened the Mbappe door. Well, I didn't want to be the one to open that Mbappe conversation, Colin, but seeing as how you've done it for me, I think it would be a bit too much of an overhaul. So, do I see a situation where Mo could leave? Yes. But do I see a situation where Mo could leave and Diaz could also leave? No. I think that's too much. I think that will be just too much. And I also don't see a situation, by the way, where Salah stays and Lucho leaves and we get Mbappe. Although, can you imagine? Just for a minute, just for a second. Mo on the right, Mbappe on the left, Darwin through the middle. Wouldn't, imagine that. Imagine Mo on the right and Mbappe on the left and Darwin through the middle. Oh, lads, that's some red panty night stuff. Jay and Rob Gaming, what silverware do you think Liverpool will win? Europa League. I feel like our names wrote in the League Cup this year as well. It feels like a season where we're gonna get that cup. I don't know. We beat West Ham, then we're pretty close to lifting that trophy again. So yeah, I think very confident we could do well in the League Cup and the Europa League. But the league, honestly, I think the league trophy for us will come down to a couple of things. One, what we do in January. And two, like anybody else who wants a title challenge, a bit of luck with injuries and stuff like that. Too good, Craig. Oh, lads, would you imagine? Like, I know it's not going to happen. We couldn't afford it. We couldn't afford Mo and Mbappe in the same team. But God, to dream. Right, announcement time. Oh, there's a super chat. Remind me after this to do a little bit of an announcement. Craig, Rodri got injured before Spain's game today with discomfort. Do you feel this is a tactic for Pep to have his players fresh for our game? Well, how many is that now for Manchester City? Ederson, Rodri at this point. Hasn't there been a couple of others that have pulled out of the Cole? No, he's not there anymore. Who else pulled out? I know there's a few more City players I think that have pulled out. We'll never get Mbappe. Get that through your head. No, I won't get it through my head. And FSG is too damn cheap to give him or any other player that amount of money. But it's FSG that are driving it. FSG are the ones that have always driven that interest in Mbappe. Honestly, mate, research FSG and John W. Henry and Mbappe. I'm telling you, that interest has been there for a very, very long time. Craig Rodri got injured. I've done that one. Thank you, Ma7 Mood or Ma Mood. Excuse me, mate. Isti said, hear me out. Frankie and Mbappe come into the summer. Mo leaves next summer. We'd only have one to pay double wages for 1 year. Dude, you're not going to have to do much convincing for me, Isti, to say yes to any scenario that has Mbappe and Salah at Liverpool. You don't need to twist my arm on that one. So, those of you who stayed on last night, you sent me the list, Mark, and I'll get to that in a second. Thank you, bud. So those of you that stayed on to the very, 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 very end of the stream last night will have heard our announcement. So we've listened. We follow through on our actions because we always do listen to you guys. And I'm happy to say that March 22nd of next year, Anfield Agenda will be in Boston and we will be at this beautiful venue here, the House of Blues, right across from Fenway Park. That's where the Anfield Agenda live show will be taking place. March 22nd. It is a Friday of this coming March and we will be at the House of Blues in Boston. I will give you guys ticketing details when we're ready to release the tickets because we're not there yet. But we basically boxed off everything yesterday. So we will be in Boston and we will be doing a March show. So if you're in that neck of the woods, would love you guys to come and see us. And yeah, we're going to have a fun trip. We're going to be over there for a few days and we're going to enjoy the city of Boston. Right, so I said I'd get to Mark's list. Right, here's the beIN Sports injury list. 1 second. So beIN Sports have done a list here of Ederson, Haaland, Stones, De Bruyne, Kovacic, Matheus Nunes, Ake, Rodri, and Sergio Gomez. Well, let's see how many of those players, and thank you for that, Mark, by the way. Let's see how many of those players are still injured by the time the game rocks around next Saturday. Congratulations, thank you, mate, thank you, appreciate it. Big shout out to Brian, LFC USA as well, for helping us to find the right venue and middlemanning it for us as well as we sorted out the date and stuff like that. So yeah, we boxed it off yesterday. Our flights are booked, our accommodations booked, the venue was pretty much booked, but it is confirmed. And yeah, I'm so excited. Shipping out to Boston intensifies. Oh, mate, look, I don't like to do things and not give people a fun experience, so we're definitely going to be planning on having fun that night in Boston. Right, what else have we got? Anyone else seeing Jota play left wing back for Portugal? They're playing Liechtenstein though, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken. So they could put Jota in goal and they'd probably still be alright there against Liechtenstein, with all due respect. Right, so a few other bits and pieces to go through here. Actually, quite a bit to go through. So Fabio Carvalho. We haven't spoken about Fabio for a while. Obviously, he's on loan at RB Leipzig. David Lynch has been speaking about the possibilities of what might happen with that situation with Fabio Carvalho. And you can find this over the Anfield Agenda X account, but we have said via David Lynch, Fabio Carvalho failing to secure regular game time on loan so far at RB Leipzig, Liverpool could be forced to make a tough decision on his future in January. And as I said, that comes in from David Lynch. So what should we do there? It is a difficult one because I can't say I know Leipzig well enough to know if the manager doesn't fancy the idea of him, if he's not training well. But you've had a situation at Liverpool where he didn't really get to that point where he was knocking on the manager's door or really being considered for a starting berth. Went out on loan to Germany. Good team in RB Leipzig, but let's be honest, a step down from Liverpool. And he hasn't managed to nail down a place there either. So, a bit worrying. It's a bit of a trend. And is it an attitude issue? Is it a training issue? Is it a tactical issue? Really don't know the answer to it. But I hope his career doesn't derail, because there's a player in Fabio Carvalho. There is. There's a talented young man in there. And whatever happens next for him, whether that's another loan or Liverpool looking to cash in and sell, I do hope he gets his career back on track, because I don't want to say I feel a bit guilty, but I don't like if a player comes to Liverpool like that, a young player like Carvalho, and it very quickly didn't work out. I feel like we have a duty of care to the player in this situation to make sure we can keep his career on track for him. So I hope whatever happens for Carvalho, a solution is found. Why do we buy Carvalho? Mate, I've asked myself that question many, many times. And truth is, still don't know the answer. I don't. I never knew where exactly the plan was going to be to play him. And now that we've restocked midfield and did it so well with the likes of Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberch, there's even less likelihood of him finding a place. Christian, excuse me, mate. My apologies, Christian. Christian Pivaral said, hopefully I'll see you in Boston. Much love from USA. I'd love to see you there, mate. It'll be my pleasure to pop out and say hello. So yes, please do. And as I said, once we know the ticketing information and when the dates and stuff like that, we will fill you guys in on where to get those tickets. If I think it'll be Ticketmaster, if I'm not mistaken. I think the House of Blues have a deal with Ticketmaster, so it'll probably be a Ticketmaster event. But when they go on sale, stuff like that, we haven't even talked about the prices of them yet, to be honest with you. So I'll keep you guys up to date. Goal Ronaldo. Oh, thank God. I'll be able to sleep well tonight now. No, Ronaldo scored another one for Portugal. He was a free agent. No. Who? Carvalho? No, he wasn't. We had to pay a compensation fee. So I can't remember if it was like 5 or 6 million. I can't remember. But because he was brought through the system at Fulham and he was under the age of, I think it's 21, when he moved, we had to pay a compensation fee. And I don't even know off the top of my head now if that's been resolved yet or if that might go to a tribunal. I feel like there was a resolution to it though. Carvalho, I think, has an attitude issue. Yeah, it's tough to know, isn't it, Amy? Like, I don't like to say players have attitude issues unless I'm absolutely certain of it, because it's something I don't like to tar at a player. Like, I don't like to throw that at them. But there's something, because he has the talent and he should be able to get a look in at Leipzig. I know they've got Olmo, I know they've got some good players there, but he should be able to get minutes there. But for whatever reason, 12.5 million. There we go. Gary's Toast at 12.5 million. Thank you, mate. Nunes offers more to the team than Nunes. Did you mean Diaz offers more to the team than Nunes? Because Darwin can't offer more or less than Darwin. He is Darwin. Salah scored 4 goals against Djibouti. I know I mentioned it at the start of the stream and it was another record for him as well. Right, so Atletico Madrid's president has been talking, and this time it's not going to be a story about Jurgen Klopp as the next manager, but Atletico Madrid president Enrique Cerezo believes that the English have won after the Super League failed to take off in 2021. So I'll read through the rest of this, but I'm going to tell you why I just think he's a bit salty. So he goes on to say, I think the Super League is good for Spanish football. With there being no Super League, the English have won. The financial fair play was not fixed and it benefits them. The proof being that they've taken all the best players. Atletico left because we didn't want UEFA to sanction us, and without the English teams, there was no way to continue. So, bit confused here, right? Because there was English teams involved in the Super League when it was announced. You know, there was quite a few of them, 6 of them. Now, they've won because the Super League's collapsed. Which one is it? Because they signed up for it. Yeah, they backed away from it, but they did sign up for it. So, this sounds like saltiness to me because, let's be honest, the Premier League has the most money, the Premier League has the most TV revenue, the Premier League is the most watched league in the world. And that's not a problem. It's a problem for Spain. It's a problem for Italy. It's a problem for France, who are all struggling with their own TV deals. But this is what happens when you've got a 2-team league. Or a 3-team league, if you allow the few times that Atleti have won something. That's tough shit. You know, when you prioritise Barcelona and Real Madrid, when they have better TV deals, when they have better commercial deals, when nobody is able to really challenge them until we have Girona with that Manchester City backing, I find it hard to have any sympathy because the Premier League have just built a damn good product and you shouldn't be penalised for that. Everybody else should look to raise their game and make their leagues a bit stronger. It's not the Premier League's fault that the money's in the Premier League, you know? So, I understand why the clubs in Spain and Italy wanted the Super League because they haven't got a pot to piss in. And they've gotten into a lot of debt, some of these clubs, trying to keep pace. But again, it just feels like they're looking for a scapegoat and the English clubs are the ones to blame because that's where the money is. How about lifting your own league up and, you know, not having it be won by the same fucking 2 teams over and over and over and over and over and over again, with occasionally an Atleti or a Valencia grabbing once in a blue moon a trophy. Do you think we will give Matip a new contract? There's been talk of it. It's gone quiet, to be honest. I have a little bit on Leroy Sane coming up in a few minutes, by the way, so keep with us for that one. So there was talk of a new Matip contract, but it seems to have gone quiet again quickly. And I don't think now would be the right time to give him a new deal because we need to bring in a new left-sided centre-back to increase competition and to refresh. So we've got Gerald Kwanzaa as well. We've got Canade. We've got Gomez. We've got Virg. So if we're going to bring in the new centre-back, look, I wouldn't be against keeping Matip around, but I don't think it should be a priority if you're bringing somebody else in because we're going to have Van Dijk, let's say the new centre-back, Kwanzaa, Canade, Gomez. That's 5 already. I don't see the space. But look, if Klopp wants to keep him around, as long as it's not at the expense of another signing. You know, if we hear we didn't bring in somebody because we have Joel Matip, no thank you. But if you want to keep Joel Matip around as, I guess, to have enough cover, fair enough. But also, there is an overseas spot in the squad that frees up. Do you think Mo can win the Ballon d'Or? He's got one more chance for me next season. It'd be very difficult to win a Ballon d'Or playing in the Europa League. So it ain't going to happen for this season going into next year. So if Liverpool get back into the Champions League, which of course it looks like we will, and if Mo stays and we have a good season, maybe. But I think he's got one more shot. Could Salah extend by 1 year? So, yes is the answer. But look at these situations and look at what history tells us about players. Most of the time when a player's in this position and the club looks to extend, there's very few times I can think of, unless the player's maybe 36, 37, that players accept a 1-year extension, because it's not really a show of faith, is it? When players get to this early to mid 30s stage of their career, they want at least 2 years normally, 2 to 3 years. So I obviously can't say for certain, but I would be very surprised if Mohamed Salah was open to a 1-year extension. From our perspective, meaning he would have 2 more years at the club, sound. I'd be happy with that. But would he? I don't think so. I can't see him and his agent feeling like that's in any way a show of faith from Liverpool. Matip is better playing with VVD. He is. Look, Matip's great. Joe Matip's extremely consistent, and I'm very much a Joe Matip fan. But if we are to bring in another centre-back, you just wonder about space. That's it, really. There's no knocking Joe Matip, the footballer. Joe Matip's been a very good servant to this football club. Ian said Diaz is a Barca fan. Look, it's not unusual. It's not unusual, as I mentioned earlier on, for players who grew up in South America to have this longing or this desire to go and play in La Liga at Real or Barcelona. So he could very well be a Barca fan. But it comes down to a couple of things. One, Liverpool's desire to keep him. And two, Barcelona having the readies, having the money, having the spondulics, which they don't have at present. But let me ask you guys what I was asked yesterday on stream. Let me just write this poll out. I'm going to ask you a simple question. So somebody asked me this yesterday, but I want to put it to you. Would you swap Lucho for Frenkie de Jong? Now, I'm not saying a straight swap. I mean, in any type of a deal, would you do it? I'm interested to see how you answer this, by the way. Any news on Silva? No, Gino, nothing new. If we're talking about the the Benfica defender, no, nothing new for me that I've seen. Stephen Norris, great channel, Craig. Frenkie de Jong would be a great addition. I can't lie, Stephen. I mean, I agree. I've no interest or want or desire to sell Diaz, but there's something about that Dutch heartbeat of the team. If you had de Jong, Gravenberch, Van Dijk, Pep Linders at the club as well, Cody Gakpo. Yeah, I like de Jong. I've always said de Jong is a top-notch player. And even when he was linked with United, I said, look, I can't hate on that. If he goes to United, he's a damn good player. So, would I do it? Yes, I think I would. Yeah, the more I think I would, because I think it's far easier to find an attacking player than it is to find that really top level, experienced but yet still young enough holding midfielder. And God, I do like Frenkie de Jong. Sell him, buy Leo. I like Lucho, but he hasn't performed consistently. Flashes, and I hate how he chooses to back pass instead of attacking the box, said Jamaican Jeff, sorry mate. Yes, I would. Sorry, love Diaz, but have to. See, that's it as well. Like, I do really like Lucho. I do. And I wouldn't have any intention of wanting him out of the club. But in this one scenario that someone mentioned to me last night, I feel like I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't take Frenkie de Jong. The chat disagrees. So far, there's over 300 votes, and the question was, would you swap Lucho for de Jong? And 63% of you have said no. Very loyal, I like it. I disagree, but I like it. Would you take Jonathan Tah as a centre-back at Liverpool? No. I don't think he's good enough. But also Newcastle are strongly interested in him. He's been a player, Jonathan Tah, that's been mentioned for 2 or 3 years as a move from Leverkusen to the Premier League. Never really materialised, but Newcastle were the latest club that I'd seen linked with a move for him. Who would we use at left wing? Well, obviously we'd have to go out there and buy another player. So in this scenario, we're obviously having to buy another player. Just like we'd have to go out and buy a 6. So if we did a swap, and I don't know what way the money would work, by the way, on that, I would imagine we're having to reinvest and go and buy another attacker. So, that would be a given. We wouldn't be leaving ourselves short. Christian said, Frankie de Jong at Liverpool would be a dream. For me as well, mate. Imagine de Jong, McAllister, Szoboszlai, or de Jong, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, or de Jong, McAllister, Jones. Oh, lads. And Bajcetic as well there. Oh. Even if you want to defend a bit deeper, imagine having 2 sitting deeping midfielders of de Jong and Bajcetic in some games away from home. The more I think about this, the more I think 61% of you are wrong. Do you think we'll buy a centre-back this January? No, I don't. I've never thought we were going to sign a centre-back in January. I think it's an end of season thing for the centre-back. The big question in January for me is going to be around the number 6. Like, the interest levels in Andre seem to be up and down depending on who you read. So I think Sport, a Spanish publication, have said Liverpool are still interested. I've seen others like, I think it was James Pearce, who said senior Anfield sources have said that they won't be going back in for a player in January. With de Jong in midfield, we'd never lose the ball, said Jasper. Look, I'd take it. Yes, we would have to still get another attacker, but an opportunity to get de Jong through the door, I would say yes to that. Would you take Kimmich? Not now, not with Endo in. Kimmich's 28, I think, if my memory's right. I mean, he's a great player. Nothing but the height of respect for Joshua Kimmich as a footballer. But no, I want the signing we make for that number 6 position to be 25 or younger. Yeah, especially with the amount of money that would probably be involved. My head says yes, but my heart says no. I get it. Adrian, I get that completely, my friend. It's tough. Nobody wants to ever look at the possibility of losing somebody we admire or like. So I totally understand the hesitation of saying yes to losing Lucho. We do have enough up front. If we lost Lucho, really 4? Doak, still progress to be made. Salah, don't know what's happening there. I would say we could be a little bit short, mate. You've got Jota, Salah, Nunez, Gakpo, and then youthful players like Cade Gordon, Ben Doak, Trent Cohn-Doherty, and a couple of others on the fringe. But I think we'd be short. I do. I think we'd be short. De Jong is turning 27 soon. But he's 26 though, so we can't say he's turned 20. He's 26, so don't ruin my moment. But look, I would still prefer him over Kimmich. I would. But also, I'd be a liar if I said that hasn't shocked me. I still think of De Jong as about 24. So he's 26 and a half now. I'd still take him. I won't lie, I would. As you're doing a live show in Dan Aykroyd's club next year. Is that Dan Aykroyd's club? Nice. What's your favourite Blues Brothers song? I've never seen the Blues Brothers. Is that bad? I've been in Universal Studios where they've flown around in the car and stuff, but I've never watched the movie. Are we linked with a left back, left centre back? Left back, yes. There's been strong links over the past week to Ait-Nouri from Wolves. That's been the most constant link I've seen this week for left back. Left centre back, yes, again, we spoke about a few. We spoke about Silva, Hincapié. But whatever we discuss, I'd be very, very, very surprised if it happened in January, the centre-back move. You need to sit down and watch the Blues Brothers. I know, it's one of those films that when you say you haven't seen it, you expect to get pushback. And I get it. Most people have seen that of my age, totally. Right, I've more news to go through. So, Leroy Sane. 2 things on Leroy Sane. So, one, he's still being linked with a move to Liverpool, and it still makes me angry because I don't want them. But the good news is that Christian Falk have said that Leroy Sane and Bayern Munich are about to enter contract talks. So he said, our story, Christian Freund, head of sports at Bayern, will start negotiations about a new contract for Leroy Sane with his agent, Fali Ramadiani, after the international break. And he tags Liverpool and Manchester City in that. And the reason he tags Liverpool and Manchester City in it is because, yes, we've been linked, but amazingly, Manchester City have been linked again with a move for Leroy Sane, which, I won't lie, it's kind of stopped me in my tracks a little bit. Was not expecting Sane to be linked with City again, but he's in the form of his life at the minute, Sane, and he's doing well. But it just wouldn't sit well with me. Too old, too injury prone, and lots of reported attitude stuff. But again, until you see the guy, know the guy, unsure. But if you fall out with Mane, do you know what I mean? If you force Mane to come to blows, that's the thing that's still in my head. How do you piss Mane off enough to let it get to fisticuffs like? Mane. Right, on Nico Williams. I guess this is a good thing if you're open to the idea of Nico Williams. So, reports coming out of Spain suggest that Barcelona are not confident in their chances of signing Nico Williams from Bilbao. He's out of contract at the end of this season, and there apparently is genuine interest in him, but they believe, Barcelona, that the money will come from a Premier League club to tempt him over to England. So they seemingly aren't holding out much hope there. It'll be a very interesting deal, this one, because him on a free, I could see that attracting a lot of Premier League clubs, and I could say probably a good chunk of money. Interested to hear that Bowley hasn't been linked with a move for him at Chelsea, because they're going around signing up all young players. So Nico Williams on a free, surely that'd be right up Todd Bowley Street. So we did a section the other day where we said statistically we can now absolutely say that Virgil van Dijk's the best defender in the Premier League. And we ran through the stats for you. Today we can up the ante a little bit. So Who Scored have now said that Virgil van Dijk is the highest rated centre-back in Europe's top 5 leagues this season with a rating of 7.35. So we can up the ante now. We're getting closer to be back to saying Virgil's the best defender in the world here. So Van Dijk is now not just statistically the best defender in the Premier League this season, but according to Who Scored and their ratings, he is the highest rated centre-back in Europe's top 5 leagues. So fair play to Virg. We love that. And there's been some nice interviews with Virg as well, speaking about that dark period after the, I'm still going to call it an assault from Jordan Pickford on Virg. And, that year and the year and a half since, how he's struggled to get back, but feels like things are looking brighter now. Am I allowed to do this? 1 second. I think I'm allowed to do this. Bear with me. I want to show you guys something. So just hold on for 1 sec. So there you go. 1 sec. We have updated the Anfield Agenda logos. And here is the new updated Anfield Agenda logo. And I'm going to talk you through it really quickly. So you might be thinking Craig doesn't look much different. there is differences, and here are the differences. So, firstly, I wanted a nod to the fact that we're Irish, and we've put a shamrock in the liver bird's mouth here. We've also changed the liver bird's chunkiness. We've made him a bit slimmer. We have changed the head. We've updated the head from the old crest. And the writing underneath is a little bit different as well. We've changed the font attached. But these are the two logos that we will be using moving forward. Both will be used by us for various different things. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on it because we've been working away on that in the background. And today we signed off on the design. So I hope you guys like it. I think it's a nice modern refresh of the logo. Jota, in my eyes, not had a fair shout. I think he's getting the respect at the moment, Diogo, and I think deserving of his starting berth recently. His goal scoring form this season has been top notch. It's just hard to think of where his best position is. Is it like Salah on the right, Jota on the left, Darwin through the centre? Or would you have Darwin on the left, Jota through the centre? I personally prefer Diogo Jota as an impact sub. I think he has a great impact coming off the bench. And he's got this great knack of scoring goals and important goals. So I think it's a fair shout to say Jota deserves that bit of respect. I don't disagree with you at all. I'm just checking my notes to make sure I haven't missed out on anything else. So, Sport, who I think are a Spanish publication, they say Liverpool have now reportedly taken the lead in the race to sign Fluminense midfielder Andre. The player will leave his club in January. So, fingers crossed, because this is, I guess, the closest thing we have at the minute to a saga. And it was always very strange to me that Liverpool had done all this hard work on the deal in the summer and were respectful and walked away, allowing Fluminense to finish their season. Yeah, so the reports of us not being interested, it just didn't make sense. So I don't know who to believe on this at the minute. I can tell you what I was told in October, which was, yes, Liverpool have every intention to go back in. I was told that by a couple of different people. But I have seen a shift to say Liverpool are kind of distancing themselves. And I wonder, is it because we don't want to get into a bidding war? You've got Fulham, Spurs, who are going to sell Højbjerg, maybe, to try and fund the deal. So that would at least give Liverpool the opportunity to steal a march on Spurs. Because if they had to sell Højbjerg first, we'd have time. Arsenal, who want to sell Partey, but Thomas Partey is injured. So that could put the kibosh on them being able to sell him. And then you've got Italian clubs who, look, let's be honest, won't be able to compete financially with Premier League clubs. So I hope that report from Sport is true, but I'd feel a lot more comfortable about it if you had a David Ornstein or a Paul Joyce or somebody from the Liverpool beat saying yes. I'd love one confirmation from somebody to say yes, Liverpool are definitely still in that hunt, because I think we need to get it done. Salah is losing his touch. The goals just hide that. You scored 4 today as well, mate, by the way. So there is that. And look, I'm all for somebody losing their touch if they're banging in goals. Do you know? I don't mean to be rude about that, but okay, fair enough. Salah's getting older. Players, tweak their games and stuff, but he's still scoring and assisting. So whilst he's doing that, I'm not going to be really critical. I have mentioned previously, like you've said, the eye test does show differences in how Mo is playing. And I can't say that I haven't found times where I've been frustrated with the decisions he's made trying to go around a player or shooting and having them blocked. And it doesn't feel like he's as efficient, perhaps, as he was previously. And I think that's probably the fairest word here, efficient. Because it used to be, ball dropped to Mo, he got into a certain position, we almost expected he was going to score. Now I do have those little creeping doubts in these moments. Looks great, Craig. Nice touch with the Shamrock. You will love the Blues Brothers classic. I definitely have to give it a watch. Salah is in the top 5 players in the world at the moment. Yeah, and look, that's backed up, Jared, by not just us fans, but you hear other players and managers. Like, you heard Thomas Frank talking about Mohamed Salah after we beat Brentford, and he couldn't have been any more fulsome in his praise of Mo. It was very nice of Thomas Frank to speak how he did. And we've heard opposition players as well, like Antonio and stuff, talking about Salah and how great he is, I should say. The Shamrock should have been broccoli. Never going to happen, mate. Let's have a look at this poll again. So, we asked you at the start of the stream, would you swap Lucho for De Jong? And 64% of you have said no, you wouldn't swap Lucho for De Jong. I respect it. So somebody said to me earlier on about what happened between the Bulgaria-Hungary game. I never got the answer. What did happen in that game? Thoughts on Rodri, Haaland, Ederson apparently being injured? Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, Imran. Probably like your good self. I'll believe it if they're not on the Man City squad next Saturday. Until then, very much tongue-in-cheek for me on the injury. We are a worse team without Diaz. So, again, in the scenario I spoke about, the swappy type deal, we'd have to go out and get another player. No argument, we'd have to go out and get another wide player. Mbappe. But, you know, who plays on the left that could be available for free? Kylian? Anybody? What would your starting 11 be against City? So, bear in mind what I'm going to say takes into account the travelling and the players and all that stuff. So, I would go Alisson, Trent, Matip, Virg, Gomez at left back. Gravenberch in the 6. Szoboszlai on the right of midfield. Jones on the left. Salah on the right. Jota through the centre. And I probably would still play Lucho on the left. Klopp seems to be okay about using Lucho after international breaks. So yeah, I think that's roughly where I'd be with a team selection. And look, that's not to say that's the best Liverpool 11. I'm just trying to weigh up the pros and cons of people travelling back late and stuff like that. And I think we need to learn a lesson from McAllister after these international breaks, because it hasn't worked out so far. So that's why I haven't dropped him in the 6. Klopp could put Jones in the 6. We've seen him do that before. Maybe then you have Szoboszlai and Gravenberch ahead. But yeah, I'd like to see Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and Jones in midfield somehow in that trio. I think Jota deserves to start for the centre, and with Núñez coming back from a very late game as well in the internationals, I think we're likely to see him off the bench. Salah will play on the right, of course, and then it's on the left. Do you go Gakpo? Do you go Diaz? I think probably Diaz. Darwin has to start against City. I don't think he will though, Colin. I just don't think he will. I hope to be wrong, mate. I very, very, very much do, but I don't know. Klopp's not a fan, and of playing him because they're one of the last games. If I'm not mistaken, they are the latest game of the international break. That last game, is it Uruguay, Brazil? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Klopp will do it. I think, see, in these games after the international break, I almost feel like Klopp tries to win it in the last half hour. But look, it's all guesswork, isn't it? Until we see what Jurgen does. And look, we also have to see how the lads get on over the international break in their games. You know, does Darwin start to cramp again like he did at the end of the last international break? Just trying to figure this out 1 second. So was there clashes in the stadium? Is that what happened outside the Bulgaria-Hungary game? So Mark sent me some stuff there that looks like there was some clashes outside or something. No, Chimicus. Jesus, no. No. Not against City. No way. No. For me, I'll sacrifice attack in that position. Just Joe Gomez on the left and just defend, Joe. Defend. No. I'm not ready. One good game from Costas for me isn't enough to undo the terror of him attacking and leaving space. No, I'd go Gomez. First team you pick, Craig, it'll do nicely. I think it's likely to be something close to that. Is the City game another early kickoff for us? It is, 12:30 for that one, yeah. Would you rather Kelleher at the left back instead of Tsimikas? No, wouldn't quite go that far now. Would you take a draw against City? Yes. I'd snap your hand off right now for a draw. 100% I'd take a draw. Yeah, I would. Because I feel like they're the ones we need to keep pace with. I think Arsenal, Spurs, they'll go through periods, they'll drop points. But a draw away at Manchester City, meaning we'll have played City away, Newcastle away, Chelsea away, Spurs away, and I think I'm forgetting one more big team that would have played away. I'd take a draw. Brighton away, yes, thank you, Dania. That's the one, Brighton away. So yeah, I would take a draw. So I'd probably take a draw most seasons going to the Etihad, to be honest with you. Who's your Diaz replacement? In what scenario, Mido? In the Sale replacement? In that little hypothetical scenario earlier on? Kylian Mbappe, mate, obviously. Trent left back, Canade to right back. Have Trent playing in his new role. Gomez will cost us goals. Trent left back. No. That would... Why? I mean, I'd feel more comfortable putting Jarrell Kwanzaa at left back. Leave Trent on the right side. And we don't know what's up with Canade's niggling injury either. So, as I said, I think the back four will be Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Gomez. That's my guess at Klopp's back four. Mbappe has 0 defensive qualities. So? I get where you're coming from. I do. But I feel like every team can carry one. Every team can have one player that perhaps doesn't do the defensive work as much. Especially if you've got a left-sided midfielder who's willing to tuck in and help provide that cover. But I wouldn't be saying no to Mbappe because of that. I feel like what you'd gain from a counter-attacking perspective, from a threat perspective, would be more than enough to counterbalance that. I think every team you can have two. I think one you can afford to carry. I would rather Matip start alongside VVD right now. I think they're a great combination at the moment. Both of them together. You know, you've got the aerial. Look, Canade's a beast as well, of course, but Canade's had a few iffy fouls in him recently, and in a game against City where, let's be honest, we know any little change of wind direction and they're getting a penalty. So, yeah, I think I'd be a bit calmer with Matip. Honestly, I'm taking Lucho over Mbappe. His ego would disrupt the dressing room. So here's what I think, Lewis, in that scenario. So, and this isn't a dig at you because you're not the only one that said this. In any scenario where we talk about a player coming to Liverpool, and in this case it's Mbappe, in any of these scenarios, for it to get to the point where Liverpool sign him, we can all be assured at that point that Klopp's not worried about their personality destabilising the dressing room. He's not going to bring in anyone that's going to fuck up the dressing room. So I'm taking it as a given that he will have done that research on Mbappe or spoken to Mbappe, and he would have got the reassurances that he wanted, or we wouldn't even consider a move. And it could be Mbappe or anybody else. Whoever Liverpool sign and we're spending money on or we're investing a lot of time in, you can be sure that they've looked into all of that. And look, Mbappe has that reputation, but as I've always said, you and I don't know Kylian Mbappe. You and I have never had a conversation with Kylian Mbappe. So I think it's easier to buy into it than look at it from the player's perspective. Because let's be honest, PSG's been a shit show and a bit of a drama. And you've had Neymar and all this other nonsense, distractions going on there. And every week it's something after another. So if we were to sign him, Klopp would have looked into that, is where I'm going, basically. Laugh. Craig wants Mbappe, that's the end of it. Well, Colin, I mean, you know me well. Colin, I'll give you that. And yes, damn it, Craig wants Mbappe, mate. Yes, I do. Because he's on a free. And if Madrid aren't at the table, somebody's going to have to get the potential best player in the world, and why the hell can't that be us? But you are right, Colin. Craig wants Mbappe, and be damned with it. Seen enough of him to get who he is. Did you see him bagging a hat-trick at the World Cup final, mate? Because I did. Did you see him tearing the competition apart? Because I did. Have you seen some of the worldly goals he scored? Because I have. So, it feels wrong. It just feels wrong that we have people saying, no, Craig, we don't want the best player in the world. No, Craig, we don't. We don't want the best player in the world. That just feels very wrong. Does Craig think Lucho's going to leave? No, I don't, Corin. It was mentioned in an article. There was an article in Spain that said that Barcelona are very, very interested in Diaz, and that interest predates when Liverpool signed him. They also said in the same article that Barca would be willing to sell Rafinha and or Ferran Torres to make that a possibility. But look, no, I don't think Liverpool are going to sell Diaz. No, not at all. Not a chance in hell we'll get Mbappe. Okie dokie. Again, I'm going to ask you one question. If we're so intent on not getting Mbappe, and if we really have no interest, why is our owner spent 6 years keeping good relations? Just answer me that question. And it doesn't matter what journalist you ask on this, they'll all tell you that Liverpool, and particularly John W. Henry, have made sure that line of communication to Kylian Mbappe is open. So, we know it's a fact. We tried to sign him when he was going from Monaco to PSG. Research it. It's a fact. It's been mentioned by many, many high-level outlets. He was flown around by John W. Henry in a private jet. And he went to PSG. Now, if this was a scenario where Liverpool were going to have to spend 150, 200 million on top of wages and signing on fee, I promise you, I'd not even be floating this idea. But if Real Madrid have walked away and Mbappe is going to move and his contract is up at the end of the season, and Liverpool have that history of wanting Mbappe, if ever there was a time that it's potentially doable, I would suggest to you, good people, it's now. And you have to consider the Mohamed Salah situation as well. We don't know the resolution on that. So Liverpool could end up losing Mo in the summer. And I'm just saying, like, it's possible. For the first time ever, I actually think financially it's possible. And I didn't have that belief before. So Mbappe 2024 is all I'm saying. Get the hashtag ready. What is Wade's demands at the moment? I think, this is going to sound ludicrous, I think it's about 1.5 million a week. So, and from what I read yesterday, there was talk that there's a couple of reasons Real Madrid are no longer interested. One is the signing on bonus he wants, which has been mentioned in an article I read as 100 million euro. Or as I like to think of that, the money we get from Mo. And the other part is that Real Madrid believe he strongly, very, very strongly, only wants to play on the left. Excuse me. And with Real Madrid having Vinny Jr. in that position, and having Rodrigo on the other side, they haven't got a left-sided spot available. And they don't want to piss off Vinicius Jr. by basically getting rid of his position for Mbappe. So, again, add all these things up, start to process them in your mind, and you think, because the biggest part of this for me is believing Real Madrid don't want them. That's the part I've most doubts about, is that Real Madrid have actually walked away. I'll believe it when I see it. Would you consider Gabriel Martinelli as a replacement for Lucho or Mo? Personally, yeah, but it's not doable. I don't think it's possible. There's a long-held interest or admiration of Gabriel Martinelli from Jurgen Klopp. You can research that. There's been positive stuff written about it, but no, he's not going to leave Arsenal now. We won't be getting anybody from that Arsenal team. Saka's been mentioned. It won't happen. Weirdly, I think Mbappe is more likely than Martinelli. If you told me I'd have been saying these things 6 months ago, I swear to God I would have slapped you with a fish and tell you to cop on. But sitting here saying the words, I think Mbappe is more achievable than Martinelli, it doesn't sound right. We couldn't afford Bellingham, so how the fuck can we afford Mbappe? Well, on Bellingham, the article I read the other day separately said that he's on €9 million a year at Real Madrid. That's his salary. But €9 million a year is about 180 grand a week. Euro. About 150, 155, maybe 160 pound. So, if that's the case, it wasn't an affordability thing. Now, we've all seen the reports that Bellingham's getting 450 grand a week in euro at Real Madrid. But I don't know which one to believe. I don't know what one he's actually getting paid. Madrid will sign him Mbappe's free money to them. So 100 million signing on bonus and 1.5 million quid a week is free money. Remember, Real Madrid have just spent $1 billion to redo the Santiago Bernabeu. They have invested a lot in young talent. They have Endrick coming in from Palmeiras. They've signed Rodrigo to a new deal. They've got Vinicius Jr. And they will want another midfielder. So my guess is that Real Madrid will go after Musiala. That's my guess. And I truly don't know. Like, they couldn't afford all of these. Even Madrid couldn't make all of these work. So, I don't know is the honest answer. Did you see the video of Michael Owen saying that apparently Real Madrid only pay their players twice a year? No. I guess, does it really matter? If you're a player and you're happy to be paid every 6 months, it doesn't really matter as long as you get what you've agreed. You know, it's not like us mere mortals who live week to week. You know, I have no idea. But sure, look, Mikel Owen played for Real Madrid, so he'd have better information coming from there than I'd ever have. And Davies won't be cheap. Yeah, exactly, Liam. Alphonso Davies is somebody Real Madrid are also looking at, and Alphonso Davies apparently also really, really wants to go to Real Madrid. We've seen them linked with Trent and Reece James this week as well. So Madrid are looking to refresh the age profile of their team and are looking to build I'm going to coin a phrase here, a young Galacticos. I just thought of that on the spot, actually. Young Galacticos, let's go with that. Or Kidacticos, or Youth Acticos. No, I think Young Acticos. That's the word I'm going to go with. And if they did get in Davies, and they have Bellingham, they have Camavinga, they have Tchouaméni, Vinny, Rodrigo, Endrick, and if they could add Musiala to that list, fuck, that's scary. So what I'm hearing is I can pay Connor every 6 months. That's what I'm hearing in this conversation. That but Connor and Ben can be paid every 6 months now. I must try and sell that vision to them. Trent is not leaving us. I need my scouser to stay. You're right, he's not leaving us. I'm not suggesting for 1 second he's leaving us. But the article wrote from Spain this week said that Trent and Reece James were on Real Madrid's wish list. But what I hear is Trent has 2 years to go on his Liverpool contract, and coincidentally enough, this story linking him to Real Madrid's coming out just about when his agent would be sitting down with Liverpool to try and renegotiate. And if you can go in for your renegotiation and say, well, the calibre of my player is such that Real Madrid want to sign him. So Trent wants to stay, of course. Trent loves Liverpool, but if you want to keep him, you've got to pay the man accordingly of his stature. So that's how I think that story really plays out. I don't think Trent goes anywhere. I think this is just part of the negotiation dance over his new deal. Craig is now Liverpool's sporting director. Look, why do you think I'm going to Boston? Alright, you've got me out. I was lying. There's no live show. We're just doing that for the laugh. I'm really going over there to meet John W. Henry at Fenway and sit down and talk about... Alright, look, full disclosure, John's seen the FIFA streams. He's seen how good I was at the negotiations. He's seen how quickly I was able to sign these players. And he said to me, Craig, pop over here and we'll have a little chat and a hot dog when we're sitting in Fenway and we'll talk about your contract. I did want to say it out. I was going to announce it over there, but you got me. City predictions. I'm too scared to make them yet. And that's the truth. I hate to make predictions until I know exactly who we've got available. And at this moment, with the game still to be played, I'm keeping my fingers, toes, and everything else crossed that we get all our boys back in perfect working order. Your streams make my day. Much love, Noah. Thank you. You guys make my day. I say it all the time. I love coming on here. It doesn't matter if we've nothing to talk about. I still want to come on and chat with you all. And don't forget as well, as I did mention, House of Blues, Anfield Agenda, 22nd of March, coming over to Boston, an Irish takeover. If you're available, if you're in the area, come and see us. We will be having a live stage show in the House of Blues, 22nd of March. I will let you guys know when the tickets are available. Is Rodri injured, Mark? The fuck? I'm not Goldbridge. He was apparently injured before the Spain game. But I take it with a massive pinch of salt. You know, like all the other City injuries. I think he have a slight beard grow. I'm trying, mate. I won't lie to you. I'm giving it full throttle here. Patch Adams is what my wife calls me. But yeah, it's like, this is my best shot. And this is like a week growth. Haaland should be available. City's less creative with him on the pitch. Yeah, did you see that they believe he will become a £1 billion footballer? Or a billionaire, I should say, from football. Use Baby Grow. I don't know what Baby Grow is, mate. I mean, what I really need to do is a little holiday to Turkey for a beard transplant, but unfortunately the old bank account can't source that. So if anybody has a hair transplant company, hi, I'm Craig. I'd love a beard. Yes, I don't want that in here. Don't give a shit about my head, but I'd love a beard. I really would. Who has been better and more consistent in the last 2 years? His work rate, skill to dribble past players, and all of his round play. For me, is after why VVD is an immediate starter and swap FDY Frankie De Jong. No end. I'm a bit confused by that, mate. Do you saying that Lucho's been brilliant to take-ons and you don't want them? I'm just confused. Craig, I was talking to Mark. I'm only mate, I had a feeling you were, but I just wanted to make the joke. Anyway, so please, Adam, don't take it to heart, but I wasn't aimed at you. I was just having a bit of a cheap joke, my man. Craig, you can use castor oil. Help grow your beard. I won't lie. I try it, and you can sell me magic beans at this point, and I'd probably buy them. How reliable is the Lucho news? Well, it depends what you mean by reliable. Like, is it likely? No. I don't think Liverpool sell him. But I'll read through the story for you again, just so you can get a little bit of a same. So it comes from Fakahe. So straight away there, we're talking full residency on Bullshit Island. Like, full embassy on Bullshit Island for Fakahes. We would almost call them the Trump Towers of Bullshit Island. And they say that Barcelona want Luis Diaz. They go on to say that their interest goes back before 2012 when Liverpool signed him, and that they're willing to sell Ferran Torres and Rafinha to fund it. But again, I just don't see how in any way Liverpool are interested in that. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Can you show us a picture of you with hair? I've showed you it before. Problem is, every time I show you a picture of me with hair, I get emails off lads saying there's puddles in their house because their missus has got a little bit too excited. And it's not really fair, is it, on these poor mere mortals? Yeah, one sec, mate. I'll grab you the picture now. I mean, I'm going to give you the picture of me looking well with hair. There you go. Look at that. Look at that handsome bastard with hair. Look at that. Prime mid-20s Holden there. Or Craig making his confirmation, pudding bowl on the head. There. Now look at that for a head of hair, huh? There's your boy making his confirmation with a beautiful Friar Tuck inspired haircut. Now, let me be saying, that normally didn't look like that. I put gel in my hair every day because that was an undercut. It looked quite decent when it was flattened down with gel and you could see the hair shaved underneath it. But my mother wouldn't let me put any product in my hair that day for those photos. So, unfortunately, that's what I looked like that day. But normally, I did have gel in it. I prefer female Craig, said Colin. Female Craig was quite a sight, Colin. Yes, it was. Right, my friends. I'm going to say goodnight. On that note, I'm going to say goodnight. And I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow. I think I'm on tomorrow. I'm definitely off on Saturday. But question: with England playing Malta tomorrow, should I do a stream? Not around that game because I couldn't give a shit. But should we do an Anfield Agenda stream tomorrow night at 8:30? I'll let you guys decide on that one because I'm happy to do it. But yeah, we'll wait and see what tomorrow brings. Because my instinct was that it's not that big a game, so people aren't going to be that fussed with it. Right, cool, yes. I will see you tomorrow at 8:30. See you then. Much love. Enjoy your evening. Thank you for joining me as always. And yeah, we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye-bye.